Welcome back to the Unintangibles Fantasy Football Show. Most of Week 15 has wrapped. We are still waiting for Monday Night Football. A lot of participants, a lot of action on both sides of the ball. I'm going to bring in my co-host, Mr. Mo Aurora, who I was living vicariously through because I was not in any semifinal action. He was riding the emotional roller coaster. He had 3 teams in the semifinals. Mo, how are you, man? How do you feel after yesterday? Did you watch football for most of the day?
I did. Hello, everybody. I feel kind of spent. I'll be honest. So first, the problem that I had was, so I'll say, okay, so yeah, I'm in 3 semifinals. I've had a good season in all 3 leagues that I'm in, and I'm proud of that. It's been fun. It's no longer been fun though the last couple of weeks. Like since the trade deadline, it hasn't been fun because it's just been all right. This is how good my team is. Let's see what happens, right? And yesterday, I had the problem of I was rooting for Todd Gurley in one league. I was rooting against him in another.
Oh, man, that's bad.
I was rooting against Alvin Kamara. So we'll see what happens tonight, right? I'm rooting against Zeke Elliott, rooting for Zeke Elliott, rooting for Tyreek Hill, rooting against Tyreek Hill, right? So it was just really confusing all day. I didn't know what to feel about anything. I was literally just holding my breath watching 3 different scores, right? And so I will say the good news is I'm up in all 3 of my matchups. I have more points than my opponent going into Monday night.
Nice.
Bad news is I'm only safe in one of them in our league. In our league, my team sort of has come through, and it looks like I'll be going to the final for the 2nd straight year. And hopefully I'm going to try to win this time. And hopefully it's easier because I don't have you in the final to go through. But and then in my, I've been calling it my 3rd league all year. It's kind of a coin flip. I'm up, but we'll see. And then in my home league, in my nominally number 1 league, the league that I've been in for the longest and have not won, I'm up by less than 2 points, but I'm done. And my opponent has both Alvin Kamara and Luke Kuechly left to play. So I think I'm going to lose. And it's like, yeah, I was just kind of bummed because my team this week, just not only did any last minute decision that I have not work out my way, my whole team in this league was just a dud across the board. Everybody just laid eggs. Let's look at this. May I? All right.
Yeah, go ahead. First of all, before you get going, do you ever notice that the leagues that you care the least about are the ones you always do better in?
Yeah, I don't want to say I care the least. The problem that I had is that 3 leagues is too many leagues to want to win each of those leaguds individually. You know what I mean? And it's just hard to have a 3rd league. It's it started to feel like I was managing a portfolio, right? Yeah. Why I had all these for and against and all these matchups, right? And I don't enjoy it as much. When it's 2 leagues, I can try to win one league, I can try to win another league, and that's it, right? And it's just frustrating because I've never won my home league, and it's driving me crazy at some point because I've been a pretty competitive player in it for, I would say, half the time I've been in the league. But yeah, I don't know.
I hear you, man. Sometimes, look, it's a lot of luck involved. If you could say that you've made the playoffs the majority of years in your home league, it's really it's a crapshoot, man. Once that happens, did you want to go over the variation of your players? I know you reached out about a Josh Gordon, Tyler Lockett scenario that didn't work out for anyone. That was just 2 duds right there.
So I had Kirk Cousins at quarterback, who was a quarterback I accepted in return for trading Deshaun Watson in order to get better at other positions. And the trade ultimately netted other guys I'm going to go through. But Kirk Cousins was meh. One of the players that I acquired in that deal was Leonard Fournette, who was meh. My other running back all year had been Kareem Hunt, and we all know how that ended. And then I had Spencer Ware, who was hurt. And then I didn't have Damian Williams. And so I was left to scramble at running back. I put Jalen Richard in, nothing. Or meh, right? Yeah. The other big acquisition was Julio Jones, who has been terrific for me, and I'm very grateful to him for that. But because the Falcons game was such a blowout, he didn't play the fourth quarter, which means he came out just before he were to qualify for various bonuses. So it was a good day. Could have been a great day and wasn't. Luckily, my team had been carried by not very good, but still very productive tight end Eric Ebron, which was good because my tight end that I originally went all in on, Evan Engram of the New York Giants, I should say, was on my bench, and he actually had a good game. While
did he have a good game? Oh, okay, I didn't know.
7 yards, which for me is worth 10 points because of bonuses and stuff. Eric Ebron, meanwhile, he of 3 catches and 2 touchdowns every week, came through with his second just like no-show 0 of the day of the season, just in time to help me lose my league. And I'd have breathing room if I played Engram. Actually, you know what, man? Maybe this is an acknowledgement. In some way, the consolation is that I'm kind of right about Evan Engram because I started him over Jimmy Graham in my other 2 leagues, and I think I'm gonna win those leagues. And and if I'd started him in my home league, I probably wouldn't win, but I'd have a chance. You know what I mean? I'd be up 12 points instead of 1 or 2 points. You know what I mean?
Hey, I mean, Kamara can crash into Kuechly, and they can both get concussed, man. So anything can happen. Kuechly's a hard hitter.
That's the thing that makes me feel bad is because I thought of things like that. Like, it really would require something that I do not want to happen as a football fan.
Yeah.
And the thing is, I have some history with this is because last year when Deshaun Watson got injured, it was like in the middle of like, I had been in trade negotiations to try to pack it in with my team to acquire Deshaun Watson. And the owner that I was dealing with didn't want to trade him. And then he got hurt. And then it was like, well, now you can trade him for next year. And I can't have him this year. So it enabled me to get the deal done. So like I've benefited from an injury before. I don't want to again. But at the same time, like, you know?
So yeah, I mean, we discussed the Watson move last year. I think you asked me for my opinion, and so how do you stand right now on Watson this year? Was it worth it? Was it not worth it?
I mean, Watson was the best player I gave up in my trade deadline deal, so it was worth it. And also, my team was good and competitive with him. He didn't put me over the top, but he enabled me to afford really good players because I broke the bank on Hunt. And I spent money on, guys that were whatever, like Gordon and stuff like that. It was a partial success, let's say. Yeah, I don't know. He helped me get the deal done that had my whole team not gone to shit would have been good enough. Like, you know what I mean?